Good morning, everybody. It's so nice to
Good
see
morning.
you.
Morning.
Hello, Lowry, Denita, Pamela.
Good morning.
Morning.
We are so excited to have you on today, and I can't wait to get started.
All right, well then let's do it. Okay, so ladies, please raise your mugs, coffee mugs in a toast to this wonderful conversation we're going to have. So, all right, here we go.
Cheers.
Cheers. Okay, for everyone watching, we've got the phenomenal Denita Jones, advocate, national research extraordinaire, Berkner High School PTA Board, precinct chair 1038, all in together fellow, doctoral candidate, mom to 5 and 1 dog Snow. Lowry, all around artistic, former teacher, Girl Scout leader, blogger, child advocate, librarian at her own home, advocate, wife, mom of 2 to 1 dog Boomer. And the best of all, catalyst for change.
Awesome, Pamela.
I love that.
We've got a dynamic duo here, Dorly. What do you think?
Absolutely. And you guys have such an impressive background. I guess my question is, why start this anti-racism group now? Why is this group important, and why is it important now?
So why not now?
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's been so much, and as I'm not sure if you or your viewers are aware, the group started on the heels of the murder of George Floyd. And so that was just a catalyst for any and everybody who witnessed that, who saw that video. Now's the time to get up off your, you know what, and stand for something.
Right.
And so that was the beginning of the group.
How did the two of you hook up?
So I started the group. I had this idea in mind. A wonderful anti-racist activist, Tracy Brown, who's a friend of mine, has a message, what is mine to do? And so that's just what I was reflecting on the weekend following all the protests after George Floyd was killed. And I thought, I'm sensing more interest from white people in the community to maybe engage in this conversation. I had done some work previously and tried to introduce some of that previously, and it was kind of resisted. And I thought, well, maybe now it's time. So I talked to Tracy and as a Black activist and said, is it okay if I, as a white woman, start this? And she said, yes, I think it's actually important and good that it comes from you. But I knew I wanted to have a Black partner. So one of our good friends who'd worked with both of us put us together, and we actually didn't meet until some news story was done when some people were upset with our say their names in the neighborhood that was up on a fence at the high school. And so Denita and I met there for a news story. And but no, we work great together.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
And our partnership, I really feel like, is a good model for what I hope other groups and leaders and communities want to do. And that is important to work together with a white ally, but always in partnership with a person of color. And, I just defer to Denita, if there's something I say or do or want to, and she says, nope, then I accept that. So I think it's a good model for leadership.
Gosh, and that quote is so good, that what is mine to do? That's so powerful. Yeah, I love that. I'll tell you, for me personally, I had the same sort of awakening after George Floyd. And it wasn't like, I didn't watch the video for a while because I just couldn't. And then my husband said, I think it's important that you do. And it wasn't like the next day I woke up and, I understand diversity and inclusion. It sent me down a rabbit hole of research, and I started listening to NPR's Code Switch podcast, which is really great and helpful. And they did a great video on redlining. And I learned about redlining in school thinking it ended, right? It ended in the 60s, 70s. It's over and it doesn't affect us anymore. And just this reawakening of, it affects my friends, it affects my coworkers, it affects the people that I serve today. So it's been, I think I was one of the, white passing women who woke up after George Floyd and said, it isn't just happening to one Black person somewhere. This is systemic, and it's for me to try to change it within my community and awaken other minds.
Exactly.
So, similar story.
Yeah.
And really, I think for me, it came from a place of, I have neighbors who are afraid, who are hurting, and I want them to know they're not alone.
Yeah.
So really, that's kind of our sense of community and why we make the statements we make and get out there in the community, because we want people to know that they're not alone. Yeah. And when you're doing this work, it would be super hard to do this by yourself.
Yeah.
So, we have to rely on each other for support.
It's super hard to piggy off what Lowry is saying, because this is more uncomfortable for her than it is for me.
Correct.
Because she's having to come full circle with knowing that her associates and her friends don't feel the same way that she does.
Right.
So she has to deal with that realization that these are people that have been in my life that don't think this is a bad thing, that have no issues with that.
Woo.
And so it's more troublesome for her because she has to deal with that reality. Whereas I've already dealt with that reality. I've been dealing with it for 45 years now. So it's nothing new to me. And so to have that balance and say, hey, are you sure this is what you want to do? Because there's going to be some bumps along the road that are going to shock you. There are going to be some friendships that are not going to make it. Are you sure this is what you want to do? Because it's going to get very uncomfortable. And to have her say, well, yeah, I know, but that's their loss. That's sort of the awakening that all of our neighbors need to have.
Well, and Denita, by the way, you just told everybody how old you are.
You can't do that. We've come so close with so many people in our community, even through online during this last year, that it's been such a gift. And for so many people that have reached out and said, thank you. I had someone do that the other day. I couldn't have survived this past year without LHAMAR, just knowing there are people that think like me and having that support. So yeah, we may have lost some associates, but we've deepened and made stronger bonds in our community. So yeah, it's very empowering to work together. Dorly, can I tell you what our mission is?
Yes, please do.
Yeah, so our mission is, we're committed to changing hearts, minds, circles, and systems to end racism and save lives. So, we want to start with the hearts and minds individually, and then we hope those people will influence their own circles of influence, wherever that is. So we're trying to just give them the tools to do that. And then, we're trying to make a difference in systems and policies too.
Yeah.
And then we have all these E words. I don't know why we picked E, but there's so many good E words. We're dedicated to taking action, educate, embolden, empathize, empower, enfranchise, and engage our communities. So those are the kind of things where all of our work does. And like Denita and I know it can feel really overwhelming. Dorly, maybe like me, when you got started in this, it's just overwhelming, the number of problems. But I like to say that, none of us can do everything, but we can all do something. So you kind of pick what your thing is. And we want to give you the tools to help do that.
Right.
So one of the things I'd like to say, this is so wonderful to have this conversation, because if you just look at the four of us, I thought it was so exciting, because I said, Dorly,
yeah,
look, there's a group. And they're already going, and you all are, you've formalized yourself. You're a nonprofit organization. So I believe you came out in June of last year. Is that correct?
Yes.
And so one of the things I'd like to know, do you have strategic partners? So do you actually have any organizations or corporations that have formalized themselves or actually partnered with your nonprofit?
So that is a wonderful question. As of right now, there's only one, and I wouldn't call it an organization.
Okay.
that we align ourselves with, and that we've been, we share the same issues of systemic racism. And that's the organization which I work for, which is the Poor People's Campaign, a national call for more revival. And
Okay.
so we utilize a lot of their research, because it's already done, of the systemic issues, of the set of 7 interlocking injustices that within our group, that's what we're fighting against. And so as far as local organizations and groups, have we solidified any partnerships? No, but I will hope that we are able to do that. We've done some work with AT&T in their candid conversations in
Okay.
Dallas. We've done that. And so hopefully, in the upcoming months, we're able to, get those partnerships. But we want to be strategic in those partnerships. We don't want to be partners with an organization because they're a large organization. We want to partner with organizations that are actually doing the work themselves within their organizations, not just saying, yeah, we have diversity and equity model. Okay, but are you utilizing this model? Are you hearing from your employees? We want to be strategic in it. We don't want to be another nonprofit that just jumps on the bandwagon to get corporate sponsors. I don't think that's what we're here for.
So,
But yeah, AT&T is doing neat work. So we were happy to be part of that conversation. And there are some other community nonprofits that that we've done some stuff with, like Equal Justice Initiative has a new Dallas chapter, and Dallas Children's Theater. We're working with them to do some teen communications and social justice. So yeah, but yes, a next step would be to get some money from some organizations.
Because the intersection of this actual, grassroots community, basically, movement in business seems to me to really be a really good catalyst to truly connect, if you will. So if a business were to look at your model, what is it that you would hope that they could add to what you're already doing?
Well, I think it'd be awesome for us to be able to offer some of the training and inspiration on whatever topic. Denita and I do just like an introduction to racism boot camp kind of thing. But whatever those businesses are engaged in, whether it's, real estate, business, Black-owned businesses, just highlighting different equity issues is something we could help discuss with them, I think, at a board level, and engage and inspire their employees. That's what we could do for them.
Yeah,
that's fantastic. And Dorly, if you don't mind me asking, I would love to know, because you do have on your website, and I thought that this was very good, a Black-owned business section. What is it that you have found with Black-owned businesses to be one of their greater struggles, I guess, within this movement since last year? I think that they probably had more recognition, but has there been any one thing that you have heard as a resounding common theme among Black businesses as something that they are, basically trying to overcome?
I would say crossing over outside of their community.
Okay.
Reaching outside of their community. We started a working relationship with Pan-African Bookstore. And a lot of our members, we get all our books for our podcasts and our study groups from them. And
perfect. That's a Black-owned bookstore.
Yes.
Yeah, that's done in South Dallas.
That's huge.
And we send a lot of our members there to get, resources that we're utilizing.
Perfect.
And I think a lot of our members never even heard of it prior to this partnership. So it's getting these businesses to cross over to a different consumer is what's important for them, and what will keep their businesses alive. Because if it's not in their community, we're not going to go outside to look for a bookstore. We're going to go up the street to Books A Million.
But Pamela, you're right. I think that people, white allies and
Mhm.
others are eager to support those businesses. So just getting their names out there. So, at holiday shopping time, we put the list out there, and also especially what's called Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, we
Mhm.
encouraged everyone to shop Black-owned businesses on Black Friday. Like, I think that's just an awesome idea for our
Absolutely.
community to do.
Absolutely.
And of course, there are lots of online. So we gave lots of online shops too that are
Okay.
Black owned. So that's a great resource too.
I love that.
Yeah, and as a business owner, we always appreciate getting business, local business and local partnerships. So that's huge. And I know I joined your group. I don't even remember how I found you, but I know that your group has done some wonderful conversations. You recently had one on a Saturday morning where we talked about the term Latinx and how I'm Mexican, I'm fine with Latinx. Other people who are also Mexican are not fine with Latinx. And we just sort of discussed these interesting topics, even within our own, communities. And it's absolutely such an amazing group. I am in Collin County. I don't remember how I joined you. I really don't. I need to.
I'm so glad you did, Dorly.
But I
You
know
probably were invited by someone.
somebody probably invited me, but I will tell you now, I know several other women in Collin County who are members as well.
Oh, good.
When you're getting
Awesome.
these members who aren't in, like, directly, I know it's more than like Highlands area, but when
Mhm.
you're getting members who aren't there, what are you hoping from them? What are you asking of them? What are you hoping from them? Do you have a vision for those members who are more in the fringes of the Dallas area?
Dorly, I want to tell you, I noticed the other day on our behind the scenes stuff that we have several people from other countries too. I don't know how they found us. But I mean, I guess I'll just say in general, and then Denita can follow up. Normalizing this conversation is what we're trying to do. Normalizing the conversation about race and not being afraid of it and racism, and giving them tools to talk about it with people at work and school and home. So people can do that wherever they are in their communities. But yeah, if they want to, if you guys want to start, we've got all the tools and we're happy to share, because I feel like it's just empowered people in our neighborhood to feel a sense of ease and purpose and comfort that this does exist in our community. Even like a year ago, they didn't realize there were as many allies out there as there are. What do you think, Denita?
Yeah. And I think most people think in order to get involved, they have to protest, that they have to physically get out in the streets and put their bodies online.
They need to do more than that.
I'm a protester. Like, that's just what I do. I do that for a living. I'm a natural protester. My kids get involved. We hold our signs. We walk the walk.
Mhm.
But a lot of people are not that comfortable yet.
Mhm.
And so when we started the group, we made sure everyone understood that we are all coming in this from different levels, different exposure. And so we're not expecting you to go from 0 to 100 and ready to pound the pavement. First of all, you have to deal with your own internal implicit biases. Then you have to address, as our white allies, then you have to address your white privilege. You have to own it because it is yours. It does exist. And you can't do this work without first saying, I am privileged and I know what my privilege has gotten me. You can't be an activist for social justice, especially racially motivated social justice, if you deny that you have white privilege. And so we want everyone to understand there's stepping stones to get to the part where you're actually doing the work, because the first part of the work starts with yourself.
Correct.
And once you work on yourself and see what you've been missing or what has been outside your box, then you can bring others to the fold and say, no, that's not what you should be saying. This is what you should be saying. Or no, that's a microaggression. That's not something you should be saying. No, you don't ask somebody to touch their hair. Simple things like that. No, you don't ask people where they're from. What is wrong with you? Just simple conversations that, can turn into teachable moments. And that's what we want everyone. If you can't take anything else away from our group, take away the fact that every incident in your life that you encounter, there's a teachable moment to teach someone about racism and injustices. It is. and to be able to take away that nugget, that's what we want.
I just love
And as a white person, to go through that with other supportive people
Mhm.
makes it, I think, more achievable and approachable for people that are willing to do the work. So to do it in community is very encouraging. So Denita, one of our favorite things we do is teach kids too. So, you know, we've been having these online play dates, and this past Saturday, ours was about, we read some hair books and the kids showed their favorite hair products, and we practiced saying, no, you may not touch my hair. And or also we practiced saying, I like your hair, may I touch it?
Right.
And we kind of just played out those scenarios. So, you know, just at all levels, there's stuff we can be doing to normalize this work and say, it's okay and good that we're talking about it.
Mhm.
What have you found with the kids? I mean, how do they receive this? From the example you just gave, you know, with the hair deal.
Oh, you know, they're so open, and it's the way I wish that all of us as adults could approach it. And
Yep.
we talk about color kindness, not color blindness. So
Oh,
yes,
I love that.
it's so important to know that you do see color. We're biologically programmed to see color. So the color of your skin is a part of you, but it's not the whole part of you. It doesn't tell your whole story. But if I'm color kind, then I notice your color. I know it's an important part of you. And I know that it comes with advantages and disadvantages, just like mine does. So just all of that is part of your color story. Denita?
And the most important thing that I get from the kids, even our teens, is that you're not born racist, it's taught to you.
Yeah.
So if we can
Yep.
teach children to be color kind,
Yes.
the racism that they've learned through the years and as adults can be unlearned.
Mhm.
Even
Correct.
if it was not an intentional thing that happened, it's just you were just isolated for whatever reason and you just thought Black people were just bad, or anyone else that was not of white descent was just bad. But it's something that can be learned. We can all change our behavior. We just have to want to change. And kids are always eager to learn. They're always eager to openness. And one thing I love about children of all ages, they are brutally honest.
Yep.
They are brutally honest.
That's a wonderful
And
thing.
yeah, and I have been blessed to keep my brutal honesty all these years. So
Brutal.
I'm just blown away, just totally blown away by like the little nuggets of wisdom from this short conversation, the what is mine to do, the color kindness, not color blindness, and the teachable moments. I mean, just these three little items, if we could put those into practice, how much more kind would our little communities be, right?
right.
So I just want to thank you both for coming on here. We have about 1 more minute. Is there anything that you want to end with? Any sort of mission or any sort of last statement?
The last statement I would say is, it's just like the golden rule: treat everyone as you would want to be treated, no matter the color of their skin or the texture of their hair. Everyone just deserves respect. Everyone is a human. We have feelings, and for so long we have to keep our feelings to ourselves, and it's time for us to be, to be humane towards each other.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and to share that vulnerability with each other. We sing the Golden Rule song in our little play dates. And because, I'm a former music teacher. But I would say too, Dorly, it can feel so overwhelming, every system that is seeped in racism and all the repercussions of that. But each of these little interactions that we have with a person to lift them up, that's what makes us feel whole and helps repair all of this. So relationships are what's important, and those interactions that build people every day. And Denita and I always like to close our meetings. We say, make good trouble. So that's what we say in honor of our brother, John Lewis.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome. I love this. Thanks for having us.
This was
Well,
good.
you all were awesome and inspirational. Woohoo.
Oh yeah, and we would love anybody to join our group. So it's Lake Highlands area moms and more. We've got teachers, neighbors, dads, grandparents, and we're not just in Lake Highlands. So come check it out and on Facebook or online, and join our book clubs, podcast clubs, all of that.
Fantastic.
Thank you guys so much. We'll see you
Thank
later.
you.
Make
You're
good
welcome. Nice to meet you.
It was wonderful meeting you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.